Now I'm going to show you how I rate the best applicants using a spreadsheet, using Google Docs sheets. So they arrive to my website, they're like, I'm looking for a job. They click on the jobs tab, and then here's a little bit of a description of a company showing our personality. You want to become a groomer, blah blah blah. We've done videos for all kinds of amazing people, and we're going very fast, and we're looking for a freelance senior motion graphic designer, and this is what the skills that we require, blah blah blah. And then full name, email, website. Actually here I allow them, because the main four positions that I usually hire for are either a motion designer, sound designer, script writer, or a graphic which they can select which of these are. Then personal message, tell us why you're so awesome, or anything we should know about you. And slowly, as long as you know, as the moment you start collecting traffic, you're definitely gonna get a lot of traffic once you have a posting. But it's nice to have this on my website because I keep regularly getting people applying for jobs. And recently, one of my best animators that I found a few months ago, it was not even through one of my ads. It was through one of my interviews. His brother saw the interview and he said, "Hey, why don't you contact Miguel, because he is, maybe he's hiring." And I saw that email of somebody sending a job submission, and I was like, wow, it's great, this guy is awesome. I contacted him, and now he's one of my top animators. So it's great just to have this on your website, on a Google form, or whichever kind of form you want to use. I use Google Forms because they connect to a Google spreadsheet. So as people keep sending submissions, a new row is created, lots of rows. This is an example of the job applications I got for the first 2 years. And you can see here there is over 122 applications. Basically, most of them came from one ad, actually. And when I started Grumo Media. And then some of them have been trickling in through time. So here you have the name, the skills that we're applying for. So most of them are motion graphic designers. Their email, a link to their reel, and then my notes. So I just kind of shrink these columns because these are personal information. So I don't think it's nice that I would share this information. Anyways, you can see here that the important information is there. Now, something I do just to remember who is who is I create what I call the tweet definition of each individual. So whatever caught my attention when I read their submission, and I went to their website or I talked to them, then I write it here. So for example, this guy is a graduate from Vancouver Film School. He has he's good on 3D animation, and he's got a really clean website. This guy is from Chicago. He's really awesome at 2D and 2.5 illustration. You can see he cares for what he's doing, and he did a video for cohort.com, which actually is a really good video. This guy has beautiful visuals, strong 3D, and he's from Seattle, from South Africa, really good at TV bumpers. This is actually very interesting because when you say the word animator, you're like, animator, somebody that can do animations. Hey, hold on a moment. There's a lot of different types of animators. Some people specialize in stuff for TV, for film, special effects. The video editors that know how to do motion graphics in video. People that know how to do cartoon animation in 2D, in 3D. Infographical type of animations. Really good on there's just so many different types of animators. So I have to figure out which is the type of animator that really matters to me, and then I create criteria, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different criteria that I rate each of these candidates from 1 to 5. 5 being great, and 1 being they really suck at that. And then that's what I do. Okay, so my criteria is going to be different than your criteria, but it's important that at least you have 3 or 4 different criteria. Reason why is because that will give you a more granular understanding of who are the best candidates for that specific position. So for a motion graphic designer or an animator at Grumo Media, I look at things like the match, the style. That's their style, overall style, match the type of animations that we create. Their skill level, well, maybe they match it, but are they good at that type of animation? Their experience, did they start yesterday? Did they graduated, like 2 days ago? And this is something I found out. People that they maybe have great skill, but they don't have a lot of experience working as a contractor. Sometimes they're hard to work with because they don't understand how business works. So maybe you tell them to do a revision and they don't have really good manners. They're like just more difficult to work with sometimes, as opposed to somebody who has been working as a contractor for several years and they're very polite, professional. They understand how remote work works, and they also understand that treating your employer nicely, it's something that pays off because they'll hire you more. Remember that if you don't work out as a contractor, the easiest way to get fired is that you won't get hired again by that individual, right? And what else do we have? Complexity, how much elements do we have on animation? Love. This is actually very important to me, and it's very hard to measure, but I actually put something to measure. It's like, does it seem or look like by their work that they care about it, that they care about their craft? And this is just a gut feeling thing, but you can put a rating from 1 to 5, and it's important to me. Transitions, there's every animation has different scenes. How do they transition from one scene to another? That's actually, do they do always hard cuts, which is the easy, simpler way of doing it, or they actually think hard about how they go from one shot to another shot? 3D, do they have experience doing 3D? Illustration, are they good not just at animating, but creating their own illustrations? I'd rather hire an individual that is really good at both animating and illustrating, because that way I can hire one person instead of two, and that makes it cheaper and less communications, etc. Also, do they have a website? If somebody doesn't have a website today and is a digital worker, man, that's not a good indication. I mean, at least they need to have some kind of online portfolio, even if it's not their own website. I actually value more if they took the time to create their own website, pick a nice template, design it themselves, and see that they care to have a good image and branding online. And finally, I have personality here, which obviously it's hard for me to derive that from their application, but once I interview them, their personality is very important. Is this somebody that I'm going to be able to get along with? Although it's not such a big issue because we work maybe in different countries, whether their personality is good or not. But in the long term, it really matters that this is somebody that, let's say if I go to, I have an animator in Australia. That's really far from Vancouver, but I've never been to Australia. It'll be awesome if this is somebody I could hang out with and that they have similar personalities or interests, because at the end it's not just about hiring people like if they were your slaves. It's about creating relationships with people, which is what really matters in life. So you might as well hire people that you get along with, and that also counts to get hired, at least by Grumo Media. So now that you have lots of applications, I would say at least 100. If you want to be serious about this, let's say you have 100 applications, you're going to do all this rating. I go even further than that. What was the first time that they contacted me? When did I reply to them? Whether I interviewed them or not? How did they arrive to my website? Then the rates that I negotiated originally, and then any other links that are relevant to that person. But I mean, this is going a little bit further than required. But anyways, it's great because in one shot I get to see everybody that I interview, what I thought originally of them, etc. The rates that they told me, because maybe they say, hey, I want to charge so much for this. I'm like, hey, hold on. I have here a note that when we spoke, this is the amount that you were going to charge per job. So don't tell me something different right now. So as much information as you can gather, the graded. So anyways, what I do here is I take the average, which is very easy on Excel or on a spreadsheet. You just put equal average and then the range that you want to take the average. And there you go. Boom. And there you go. Actually, I could also include the personality column here. But anyways, it's up to you. How do you want to calculate the average? Once you have the average, you're going to have a number. One number that defines, that combines all that criteria that is important to you. And then I use color coding through what is called conditional formatting. If you just go here and go to conditional formatting, you can see I have here 5 different color codings depending on the grade that they get. That way I can visually identify who are the top candidates. The ones that are bright green are the top candidates, and the ones that are darker or gray, they're not so good. And then what you can do easily is just actually go and sort the sheet by higher to lower. So then immediately once you do that, what happens is you get here the top candidates. And like I say, if you want to get, what you should do right away is highlight the top candidates. And these are the people that you should contact and set interviews with. And out of all these people, hopefully you get one of these individuals working for you. And you can, go down the list. If none of these people respond, you're not able to negotiate a good rate, just go down the list. Just go, oh, next person, Marco, Fabrizio, blah, blah, and then contact them. And you're guaranteed that using this system, you're very likely to find a great contractor. So there you go. This is the way I do it. I don't know how other people do it. If you have a different system that is simpler, straightforward, whatever, please share it with me, share it with us, share it with the community, because this is a core task to any business, hiring the best people. There you go. Hey, did you enjoy this video? If you want to see more like this, just subscribe here. If you want a free gift, click here. Yeah. Which one is going to be the one you